But Punk came out at the end of the show. They hyped this up all night long. They opted not to open with him. They went with Randy Orton instead. The first hour of the show was billed as commercial free. So when they announced that, I thought, okay, maybe they're going to have Punk open the show. And since it's commercial free, they're going to give him the first 20 or 30 minutes of the show to speak his mind and say whatever it is that he wants to say. And that way they don't have to worry about going to commercial or anything like that. But they went with Orton instead. They saved Punk for the very last segment. They ended up giving him 7 minutes. But this was Punk's promo on Monday night. He talked about how looks like hell froze over. And he said what he means, this is him standing in the ring on Monday Night Raw with a live microphone in his hand. He called Survivor Series a career highlight for him. He said that he's been searching for the words to say. And he came up with these 2 words. And it's a little bit corny of him to say, but he speaks from the heart when he says it. Those 2 words are, I'm home. He didn't know how being back was going to make him feel, but he says this is where he belongs. And he's been gone for 10 years, and over those 10 years, the people never forgot him. And that's powerful. He says, we are all powerful. We, the fans, are all powerful. The people never stopped chanting his name, so of course they started chanting his name. The voiceless found their voice, and he could not be more proud of us, and that's why he's back, because he loves us, and he's missed us, and he wishes that he could say he never had to leave, but once upon a time, a wise man told him that he would have to leave and come back to get everything he needs out of this bowl. That's what Drew McIntyre did. All right, Drew McIntyre left and came back, became a world champion. Clearly, he was referring to Paul Heyman with that line. The 2 of them worked together during his last run. He said, in front of and behind the camera, it's been nothing but love. It feels like a family reunion. Everybody has been happy to see him. He was dripping with insincerity when he said this. Then he gave us an AJ Lee update and said that April is doing great and she sends her regards, and that got a nice pop from the crowd. Now, PW Insider says that there has been no discussion of an AJ Lee return. She retired years ago for health reasons, and she's carved out a successful writing career for herself. But you would have to think that at some point down the line, there's a pretty good chance we'll get at least a cameo appearance. It's not out of the question. We got the Women's Royal Rumble coming up, right around the corner. I would think there's a very good chance for one night we can get an AJ Lee cameo at the Royal Rumble. But he said everybody has welcomed him back with open arms. He said almost everybody. Some people are afraid. They're afraid of the truth. Everything he's ever wanted is here. The competition is here. But the best in the world has not been here for almost 10 years. He understands being afraid. They're afraid that he just set the bar too high. They're afraid that the brass ring is in his back pocket and they can't grab it. That the best just walked in the door and there's nothing they can do about it. They're afraid that their best efforts in this ring, on this microphone, at that commentary desk, can't measure up. But the best is back here in Nashville, Tennessee, and his name is, and he let the crowd chant CM Punk. And just as they played his music, and just as they were going off the air, he looked into the camera and said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. The best line of the entire segment, it was his mission statement, and it was an off-mic comment after the promo was over. And it also could be taken as a shot at the Young Bucks for not wanting to work with him, right? That's the beauty of it. Only he knows for sure what his intention was in saying it. PW Insider says the plan for the promo was for it to go longer, but there were timing issues that led to Randy Orton against Dominic Mysterio, which was the main event, going longer than initially planned. So the match went long, and then Punk's time got cut. So again, he ended up with about 7 minutes. I don't know how long it was planned for, if he was going to get 10 minutes, if he was going to get 20 minutes, 15 minutes. He was supposed to get more time, which means he had more to say. But his time got cut. That's according to Mike Johnson. If you watch this promo and you were expecting Pipe Bomb Part 2, and I'm not even talking about addressing the AEW stuff, because he can't do that legally anyway, but I'm just saying, like, talking about why he left 10 years ago. Let's pretend you're a WWE fan and you know nothing about AEW. You just think that Punk has been lounging out on the couch for the last 10 years, 10 plus years. addressing why he left 10 years ago, right? There was a lot of controversy around that. Or addressing Seth Rollins pitching a fit at the end of Survivor Series and flipping him off and cussing him out. And Rollins even made comments about Punk on this very show in his promo earlier in the night. If that's what you were hoping for, you were left very underwhelmed by that promo. That was not a CM Punk promo. Coming out and saying, "I'm home." It felt disingenuous for someone who spoke so openly and publicly about the need to leave this company and how this company hasn't changed in the time that I've been gone, right? He said that after Sasha and Naomi walked out, and he stood with them. And has talked about wanting to be a professional wrestler again, not a sports entertainer, right? That's how it came off. It came off as bending the knee for a payday. Maybe this is the kindler, gentler CM Punk that Seth Rollins is going to keep poking and prodding on TV until he finally reveals himself, his true self. And that's when we get our first real CM Punk promo. Maybe that's the idea. It's also entirely possible that this deal came together so quickly, as Triple H said it did, that they still have not fully fleshed out what his creative is going to be. And that was the safest promo they could do for the time being until they figure out the direction they want to go in with this person. Right? Is it going to be as a babyface? Is it going to be as a heel? Maybe they haven't fully fleshed that out yet. So they said, we need to have CM Punk on the show, right? We have to have him cut a promo. Let's have him cut the safest possible promo that he can until we figure out for sure what we're doing here. That's also possible. What I would have liked to have seen him say is, as far as like, why now? Why is he back now? He's back to declare himself for the Royal Rumble. Because his goal is to get the one thing that eluded him his entire career. A WrestleMania main event. Challenging for the World Championship. So that way, on day one, he doesn't have to drop a pipe bomb or bury people or get too controversial because it is only day one. And they gave him 7 minutes out there. But have him make it very clear why he is back instead of going the mushy route. Oh, I'm home. I'm home. The voiceless found their voice. I'm so proud of all of you, like a proud father. If I have to watch CM Punk on my television, I don't want mushy CM Punk. Mushy CM Punk is not what people wanted to see in AEW either. CM Punk in AEW was at his best when he was going off on MJF and going off on Eddie Kingston. That was CM Punk at his best. Now, how are they going to go about things here with him and Seth Rollins? Clearly, he and Rollins is the direction. Is it for the Rumble? Is it for WrestleMania? Probably WrestleMania, but we don't know for sure. We do know that they are heading towards CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Long before they do CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Could it be a situation where Rollins ends up as the heel in this equation? Trying to make people see that Punk is the bad guy here. And that he hasn't changed. And he's only out for himself. And things aren't as they appear. He's not as sincere as he seemed to be on Monday night. This could be the Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels story from 2008 where Jericho tried to show us. You cheer for this man. He's lying to you. He's feigning an injury, yet you cheer for him. What's wrong with you people? What don't you understand about this? He's the bad guy here, not me. Maybe that's the concept. The thing about CM Punk, though, as I'm watching him on Monday night and I'm listening to him, Punk has become the thing that he hated. All those years ago, Punk has become The Rock. Coming back in and doing the exact same thing, potentially taking a WrestleMania main event spot away from someone else on the roster who's been there all year. And I'm not passing judgment yet on whether or not he should or should not be in the Night 1 main event. He probably should be. But we don't know yet what the story or the match is going to be. I'm just saying it's funny how things have a way of coming back around. John Cena criticized The Rock, right, over 10 years ago for leaving for Hollywood. He never comes back. Just come back and drop an elbow and pop an eyebrow, right? And he did all these media interviews talking about The Rock, forgot where he came from and left for Hollywood. And now years later, Cena has apologized. Actually, many times he's apologized. And he said he's apologized personally to The Rock for the comments he made. Because he finds himself in the same position, spending most of his time in Hollywood And Cena does come back occasionally. I mean, he just came back for a 2-month run. He did the job for Solo Sikoa. He's giving back by doing that. But he's embarrassed about the things he said. He's embarrassed about the comments he made all those years ago. I don't know that Punk would be embarrassed or feel differently about what he said back then about The Rock, about Dwayne. He had the right to feel that way. But he's also in that same position now, coming back in all these many years later at Survivor Series, just like Rock did. And he's probably got a main event with his name on it waiting for him in Philadelphia. Imagine if he gets Stone Cold. Do you think that match isn't headlining night one? How would that make Seth Rollins feel? Probably a lot like CM Punk did back in 2011 when he dropped that pipe bomb. Rollins could probably drop a pipe bomb of his own if he gets iced out of the WrestleMania main event. Or if it's Punk against Rollins, maybe it would have been Rollins against Gunther, and Gunther now is not in the night one main event. I mean, who knows? But he has become the thing that he loathed. I guess it's true. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.